So we're gonna start. This is our Hayward Super Pump 2. Just a little bit different than the Hayward Super Pump. We're gonna start with our 9/16 ratchet. We're gonna be taking and replacing this pump seal because it's been leaking for, I would say, a better part of a year. It is completely built up with salt. Being this is a saltwater pool, there's just salt everywhere underneath this and it's moist. But with our 9/16 ratchet, we're going to take out these 6 bolts. There's 3 on each side. Now that we've removed all the bolts, bring it apart. And I might have forgot to tell you, but basically we'll turn the pump off, make sure your valves are closed, and then basically pull this drain plug down in here. Remove the top, let the water drain out, just so we don't have a flash of water come shooting out as soon as we take this apart. So, take this out. You see this, pull this O-ring out, inspect that. So in order to get this impeller off, we're going to take off the cap off the back here. And that'll allow us to get a wrench onto the main shaft so we can spin that impeller off. So I'm using a 1/4 inch driver. So in order to get this wrench onto this main shaft down here, we also pull off this back piece right here, which is still just another 1/4 inch driver. So once that's removed, now we have plenty of area to get a wrench in there. Pull that out of the way. So once we get all this off, we can slip our 7/16 wrench in here, spin our propeller, and it'll lock it in place. So with that locked in place, we can now spin this impeller off. Sometimes you gotta get the big guns out to break it free. And then our impeller just spins off the front. Like so. Once the impeller's off, we can pull this plate off. And as you can see, where the pump seal's gone bad and it's been leaking right out of the back here and into the motor. So definitely a lot of that humidity is going right in that motor, so that's why those motors can burn out real quick. So push that guy out there. So from this part right here, we're going to take a wire brush and we're going to clean up all this stuff. Clean up the back of this. So since we have this all apart, it's not much more to change out one of these motors. Normally when you do a motor, you're taking the pump seal out and replacing it anyways. So once you've done what we've already done, all there's left to it is basically you're going to take out these 4 9/16 bolts out of this motor plate. That'll slide off. And then basically, since we all have this off anyways, basically then you're just going to pull these power wires off here. I like to take a snapshot with my camera just so I can see how it was wired. But once you remove those wires, pull your cord out, you can put your new motor in, put your 4 9/16 bolts back in with this plate, and then it's a matter of just putting your wires back to where they were. Pump seal, and we'll install this. Pump seal comes in 2 pieces. Piece that slides out on top of the impeller shaft, and then this thing with the rubber boot will slip inside this piece here. So before I slip this pump seal under our front plate here, I like to use some silicone lube. This is a Pentair product. I just prefer using this one. You can use Magic Lube or whatever else, pool lubricants for O-rings. So basically, I'll take a little bit of this sealant and I'll just rub it around the front of this rubber gasket here, not getting like so. And then basically with a clean paper towel, and push it into place. That's it. And here's our new piece for our impeller. So with our impeller, make sure it's nice and cleaned up. The impeller will actually sit in this. And with that on there, we're just gonna push this on. As you can see, it's got a nice tight fit. So with our 7/16 wrench back on the shaft, we're gonna put our plate back on here with the shaft. And make sure there's nothing on our new pump seal. With that on, with our 7/16 wrench on our shaft, we're going to spin our impeller on clockwise. And we just want it nice and hand tight. There we go. That's it. First step is to put this little guy back in here with our 1/4" driver. Took him out so that way we could get our 7/16 inch wrench in to lock that shaft a little easier. So that just centers in there. And there she is. From that point, I like to put my cap back on here. So that's all done. Once again, that's just this 1/4" driver. So with our impeller on, motor's all cleaned up, that cap's all put on. Then we'll go ahead and put the rest of together. That goes on over top your impeller, and your diffuser will say top. So we'll put that on the top, like so. And then there's a diffuser gasket right here. We want to make sure that's in good shape, and we want to put some lube on that so that'll slip right into where it needs to go. Here's our main gasket here that's going to go in here. So we want to make sure that's all nice and clean and also lubed up. And we replace them after 2 seals. This one's in pretty good shape. So once that's lubed up, now we can go ahead and slide our motor back into place. There she goes. So from there, we're gonna put our bolts back in. Cool. It's not much light, and I didn't bring any with me. So take our 9/16 ratchet, and we're gonna sink these down. I like to start on one side and then just go to the one opposite side of it. Just do a crisscross pattern to make sure it seals good. And we'll go nice and snug and give them 1/8 of a turn. Alright, now that it's put all back together, everything's been snugged down, give it 1/8 of a turn. We can get a bucket of water. We'll refill up this pump. Make sure you don't forget to put your plug back in. And that's it. We'll fill this back up with water. Make sure we put some lubrication on this O-ring. And basically open up our valve that we have shut to keep our prime in our skimmer lines and drain lines. And we'll fire it back up. So now that we got this pump seal back in, we're gonna finish her up with prime this pump. So we're gonna dump some water in there. So our O-ring's on there. So give this a nice little spin down, nice and snug. Then we'll open up our valve. make sure our multi-port valve is on filter. Had it closed so the sand filter wouldn't drain into the pump while I was working on that. Flip her on, see what happens. Prime right up. Thanks for joining me with Pool Elementary. That's a Hayward Super Pump 2 pump seal, and we'll see you next time.